In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the top voted Reddit posts from the past month on the Battlefield 2042 subreddit. I've done videos like this in the past, taking a look at the top Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 moments that people post on Reddit, but I think 2042 at this stage in its early life is definitely a super controversial game. So these posts are going to be very interesting. So let's start out at the top. I will just scroll through them and try and embed some higher quality videos for you to watch in the background as I click on them. First of all, it's Saints Beat Eagles having a go at the UI, and considering over 11,000 people at the time of making this video have given this one an upvote, I think it's safe to say that the UI, especially in the menus, is a bit of a mess. You have the negative colors going on here, so you don't actually know when you've ticked an item on or off until you move away from that item. Definitely something that needs work. I'd say that that's probably the basics of UI design right there. The next post we're going to take a stop at is the bots will teabag you if they melee kill you from DJH96. We'll watch this one a couple of times. I haven't actually died to a bot as far as I'm aware. Maybe I have, but I can't remember dying to one. I certainly haven't been meleeed by one like this and then teabagged. Not something I ever thought DICE would put in a game, but there you go. Just an image for the next one from TNYCZR. How to fix specialist visuals with 30 minutes of Photoshop. I definitely have to agree with them here. I think the specialists are an idea that perhaps I could get on board with, but I like to be able to know at the very least who is on the enemy team and who is on my team. As we take a look at these images and just click through them, it's very simple changes. Even just putting a helmet on one side and taking a helmet off for the other side could be enough to distinguish the two different specialists. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it needs some work? I certainly think it does. Again, another post off the back of that last one about the squads and the factions and the specialists. Here we have the Battlefield 4 teams: support, engineer, recon, and assault. They're definitely very unique when it comes to each team, although for someone who maybe doesn't play the franchise, you wouldn't say they all look that different. But for someone who does and actually needs to know the difference, boom, you've got it. Some very subtle differences, but you can definitely tell who's on what team without relying on 3D spotting. This is one of the text-heavy posts. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. It's from TJGM. Over 5,000 or well over 5,000 upvotes. Essentially what he's saying is, why do DICE have to reinvent the wheel every time they make a new game? And I'm completely on board with this. I've played Battlefield games for ages. I've gamed for a long time. I understand that you need to make new things and have new almost gimmicks in order to sell games, to get them to the top of the pile, the front of the queue, so people will click on them or go into the store and buy them. I think looking at things like the Tornado and the Rocket and 128 players, these big kind of flashy buzzwords that you'll see plastered across pretty much every article out there at the minute, they're fine. You might not like them, they might not be your cup of tea, but they definitely get people looking at the game. Messing around introducing specialists and overhauling the UI to something that's clearly not as good, I don't know. I don't think it works for me, but clearly I'm not the only one. Loads of people upvoting this post as well. A quick one from Sir Nuke Boy. Yes, I think everyone's had a go at riding the rocket into space, but this is one of the first people to do it. You do get a very nice view of the entire map as you go up. Someone else having another jab at the UI. You know that little box that comes in at the top saying that the enemy have lost sector majority or whatever information it's trying to give you? Yes, it does feel like it squishes your resolution slightly. Not sure what's going on there. A bit of exaggeration here, but it certainly does feel like it's messing with your game. Arguably one of the coolest clips that I've seen so far. It hasn't been sent into the top plays, but it should have been, because this is incredible. Wow. Mapotha getting the grapple hook into the side of that scout helicopter, flying into the air, and then taking them out with the recoilless rocket launcher. Pretty damn cool. Another image that we're going to take a look at from Danny on PC, of all people. It's Mackay stabbing Mackay while Mackay is looking to the other side. Yes, you've got three of the same specialists all wearing the same thing on the same screen at the same time. I don't think that's very nice at all. Even with some major customization, I think that it is going to be quite a significant possibility that you see the same specialists next to each other doing exactly the same thing. Not that we didn't see that in previous Battlefield games with supports and stuff all sitting next to each other. I just feel like specialists are supposed to spice things up visually, so when they don't, you have to wonder what the hell they're actually doing in the game. Oh, yet another go at the UI. Why fix something that ain't broken? I agree with that sentiment from Axrov. There we have the Battlefield 4 UI on the left-hand side, which wasn't perfect, but it was very, very good. It was functional, it did the job. And then the Battlefield 2042 UI on the right. Yeah, it's not great, is it? Oh well, maybe they fix it before the game releases. A clip from Arco that you've probably seen either on his channels or maybe on the top plays, as it was featured, a 16-man multi-kill with a single grenade. A bit of an odd one, really, as the names kind of reappear one after each other in the kill feed. Could just be a UI bug, wouldn't surprise me, but still pretty damn cool. That's one of the only choke points on the map, and he managed to find a massive multi-kill. A little clip from Hammertroller HD. This one's quite cool. Bailing out of the top of his jet and looking for a Ronde Sniper or Ronde whatever he's going for. Doesn't manage to hit it, but what does happen, and this is actually a common bug in the game, it's happened to a load of people jumping back into vehicles, it just bugs out and the whole vehicle goes crazy into this kind of frenzy and you end up crashing into the ground. Next, probably one of the most comical clips you'll see today from Ownerhole 1337. Picking up a tree for the maximum camouflage on this chopper is a tactic that I think we should probably all employ. You never know, DICE may even give us these customization features. They said they'd give them to us for vehicles in Battlefield 5. It took them 18 months to say they finally weren't going to give them to us, and it's possible that we'll finally get them in 2042. Another bug that a lot of people have seen is this one. Playing in the Osprey, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, that's a bit of a tricky one, but if you get hit by something and it basically drops you down to, it's either 1 HP or 0 HP, I'm not sure when it happens, but the vehicle explodes into the carcass, but you can still fly it around like there's nothing wrong. Now I think there's an important post that most people on here will already understand, but for those that don't, it's good to have a little read. Here we have somebody saying it's usually not the devs that ruin games, it's the management or the publisher that ruins them. And then you have a dev, not sure what franchise or what studio or whoever it is, but they're essentially saying that design decisions that players hate are driven by executives, marketing, or even influencers. I'll just say in Battlefield, the game changers usually don't have any input at all when it comes to changing things, especially during the development stage of a game. If we did, or if I had any impact of it, you certainly would have seen some different things in terms of the vehicles in Battlefield 2042, but there we go. And then they go on to say that essentially devs care very much about what they're doing. They aren't lazy, they're trying their best, and most of them are quite upset and annoyed to see certain things in the game when they said there were problems, and then they haven't had a chance because they've not got the authority to change something. I know this to be true in many cases, won't go into any details, but yeah, definitely something to take a note of. Now we've got a clip from Colouring Eye. This was right as the beta released, and it is of course the massive tornado alongside the rocket launch on low settings as well. It does look great. This has to be the highlight, I think, in terms of a spectacle when you're playing. Is it what you want if you're looking for a good FPS game? I mean, sure, it's nice to have it alongside an engaging infantry and vehicle experience. Nonetheless, that's the sort of thing that will get people to pre-order, so I can see exactly why it has been put into the game. So that's it for this video. We took a look at the top rated posts in the Battlefield 2042 subreddit. I have to be honest, there are quite a few negative ones in there, lots of positives as well, but I feel as if it really does feel like a game that needs a couple more months at least, maybe even until February, March, April next year before it's going to be ready. Who knows though, DICE might have done a lot of work already behind the scenes with this being an older build, as they say. I don't know, just as someone who's played a lot of games over the years and seen them in this stage a month before release, I feel like it does need a bit more time in the oven. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, taking a look at what the community are thinking on that 2042 subreddit. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.